Another Brick fan here with a BrickHeadz review. This is from the Pets subtheme, and this is Ginger Tabby. This is set 40480, was released in August 2021, has 269 pieces and cost about $15 when it was released. This set is part of the Pets subtheme of BrickHeadz, which was introduced in 2021. There are currently 8 different animal pairs in this series. Each comes with an adult and a child version, along with a brick-built display stand. In this case, we have 2 cats wearing teal-colored collars, and in the case of the adult in this case is wearing a scarf around her neck. Let's go ahead and get these built, and then we'll take a close look at the finished BrickHeadz. Here are our completed BrickHeadz, and as you can see, they're in this nice lavender or purple display stand. It of course has some white underneath and is built on top of these black 6x6 plates that BrickHeadz normally are displayed on. I like the use of these claws, or these Wolverine claws, as the whiskers for the cats, and they each have these nice little quarter round pieces used for their nose in this bright pink color. The Pets theme has stickers for these BrickHeadz, which is actually rare in BrickHeadz. Most of the time it's printed pieces, but nonetheless they have some fish here, and they also have cat's paws here and you can use either one of these pieces. I really do appreciate the fact they give you 2 of these slopes and that you don't have to choose one of the stickers. You can choose both and then swap them out as you want to. Let's go ahead and take a look at the large Ginger Tabby first. As you can see, the Ginger Tabby is done in this orange and darker yellow coloring with a bunch of white and of course the teal scarf that goes around her neck here. The legs, the rear legs, are designed to be splayed out a little bit, so they're on these hinges. You could even put them all the way back and make the cat look like she's perhaps lying down. The tail is also on a clip piece, which allows you to move the tail up and down. I do like the way they designed the ears by having a slope up here and then using this 1x2 sloped piece here to have the ears slope inside on the cat. I'm certain you could actually turn this around if you wanted to. If you wanted to change the look of the cat. So there is a little bit of variability you can do with it from that perspective. The sides are pretty flat and smooth. This is to kind of indicate the fur, and then a little bit of it is sticking out here that you see represented with the studs. And on the back, it kind of alternates between a tile and a stud. So a tile and a plate provides that kind of textured look. I already pointed out the tail that moves up and down. And I do like the use of this little slope here to show this slope here that's used to go to the tail. And then you can just see a little bit of the white stud on the side plates here that are used to hold the tail in place. They did a good job with the face, the nice eyes, the whiskers of course, and this pink nose that I pointed out earlier, which is just on a 2x2 jumper plate in this case. Let's go ahead and take a look at the kitten. Here is the kitten that goes along with the Ginger Tabby. The face is very similar with the eyes, whiskers, and in this case it's just a 1x2 jumper plate that gets you that nose centered. The feet do not move on the kitten. but it is done the same way with some straight front paws here, 4 legs that are done here, and then the rear legs are just done with this orange piece and then the white on the bottom to kind of give it that socks look that many cats have. The tail obviously is done here on a clip, just like the adult, a little shorter, but it does move up and down. And like the adult, the sides are kind of a mixture of studs and tiles to give it a little bit of texture. The ears are done very similar to the larger cat, which I like. They just use cheese wedges here instead of slope pieces to get that same look of the ears as you saw on the adult cat. Once again, this is a 3x3 base for a BrickHead as opposed to a 4x4 base for the BrickHead, which makes it much smaller and certainly a lot shorter. So let's get the two back together and I'll give you my final thoughts. I really appreciate this Pets sub-theme that LEGO has come out with this year. As I mentioned, there are about 8 of these Pets sets, which amounts to about half of the BrickHeads that have been released here in 2021. So LEGO seems very committed not only to the BrickHeads theme, but to this Pets sub-theme. This particular sub-theme, I think the adult and the kitten, so the Ginger Tabby and the kitten, both look very similar. I think the color schemes that are done for both of them was done quite well. We have the same striping and the same overall look, which I thought was really well done at this smaller scale. Obviously a few differences, but you would expect that from, you know, a younger cat versus an older cat. The back here, which is done on the stand, allows for a spot so their tails can lay down flat, which I think was a good feature, and we've seen that in pretty much all of the Pets BrickHeads that have tails do have this little gap so that you can flatten the tail out. But I would say most people are going to leave the tails up because you're going to have this displayed on a shelf or something and maybe up against a wall, so you don't necessarily have the space to lay the tail down flat. Going quickly to value, again, BrickHeads are priced at about $10 for a full-size BrickHead like our Tabby here. So this is a little bigger than half the size of a BrickHead, but roughly half the size of the larger BrickHeads. So I think $5 for that makes a lot of sense. So this $15 price point is very common in these large and small BrickHead sets, and particularly in the Pets sub-theme. Just about every single one of them has been charged at about a $15 price point here in the US. Hope you've enjoyed my thoughts on this BrickHead set. I'm going to get started on another BrickHeadz Pets review. And until then, happy building. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to see more of my content. I left a link to my other BrickHeadz reviews up here on the screen.